Every superhero has a weakness. Superman has kryptonite, Green Lantern has the color yellow, and Green Arrows is breaking his fucking arms. But the fun fact, the way to be Wonder Woman is if you're a man, just handcuffing her and all her power is gone. I wish I was joking. Welcome to the Comic Panel Nerdcast with your host, Ryan Dingle, and your co-host, Jermaine Clover.
Hello.
And we have a very special guest, don't we, Jermaine?
Yes, we do.
He has been a pivotal role in many a musical. He was an ensemble in Beauty and the Beast. He was Frank Abagnale Jr. in Catch Me If You Can. And more recently, he was the supporting role of John Hinckley in Assassins. Please welcome Mr. Patrick Ward.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction, Ryan.
The wonderful introduction of many a fuck up.
Oh, no. Hey, you know what? Abagnale's one of those names that you just go, oh, how do I say that again?
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
So how's your day been today, Patrick?
It's been very good, actually. Very busy.
That's good.
Very, on my toes.
Yep.
Had the class with Jane.
Yep.
Today, so we are doing our piece on Kitty Kitty Door.
Oh, yeah, that's
which
right.
is amazing. All the class has been doing really well, creating the songs, writing the script.
Yeah.
I think it's really going to blow people away. I think particularly Memphis will be impressed. We have a little thing where he thinks you're not going to be better than our year, but you just wait, Memphis.
Does it have a
to prove him
haka?
wrong.
Does it have a haka?
Oh.
It does not have a haka.
We win.
Hey.
However, having said that, though, it's not quite finished yet, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. So what we like to do here is that, like, when a new person sort of comes on, we like to ask them what their first introduction to nerddom was. And for Jermaine, it was fighting games, more specifically Tekken Tag Tournament 1.
Or Tekken in general.
Yeah, and for me, it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the 2003 cartoon sort of thing. So this could range from comic books to video games to animation, that sort of thing. What would you say was your first introduction to nerddom?
Ooh, you got me on the spot there, but I think I can answer, and I think it goes as early back as the original Yu-Gi-Oh series.
Oh,
wow. I think, my family always, tease me or give me a good joke about all the time. I was, very into that Blue Eyes White Dragon, the Dark Magician.
Yes.
All those different monsters, and even, being able to imitate the Pharaoh's voice and Kaiba's voice. I did impressions actually, I still do actually sometimes for the longest time. And then, so I think Yu-Gi-Oh! The original series, very much into that. I think I actually had one of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual discs that you could actually buy and strap onto yourself.
do you still have it, or?
I'm actually not sure. Either it's been given to someone else or it's been thrown out, but it was a very good memory. I think also early Simpsons as well. That was a very prominent thing for me growing up. And then it slowly moved into I think probably around like 11 or 12 is when I got introduced to my favorite series of all time, which is Assassin's Creed, as a lot of people will know. And I love it for so many various reasons, and I could just go in depth and ramble on about how brilliant at least the first 5 games were. I can I can go into how the series has kind of declined over a certain period of time, but that's sort of where the Yu-Gi-Oh! Was probably the earliest introduction.
Fair.
Yeah, fair enough. Did you want to talk more about like your nerd sort of journey sort of thing, because I feel like you could go on and on about Assassin's Creed.
Oh, 100%.
You're welcome to talk more
I'll get full synchronization for doing so.
Oh, yeah.
So you're more welcome to talk more about it.
So how do I go about this? Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a big one. Simpsons, of course, obviously. We grew up on a lot of, like those cartoon shows like Pokemon as well.
Is this the original, the Indigo region?
Oh, no. We had like, what do we have? We had a videotape of some of like the old Pokemon movies.
Oh,
like
you mean like the VHS like of like Pokemon the first movie?
Yes,
or with Mewtwo.
And Mewtwo, yes, that's the one.
Hell yeah! I have those at home. They're so
brilliant.
Good. Yeah,
they're brilliant. Very nostalgic. I think there was a movie that I watched that I think my stepmom took me to way back when, and it made me kind of like fall in love with movies and just how movies could be made. It was Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Ooh.
I still, maybe a part of this is nostalgia, maybe speaking, but I do think that is the best Pirates of the Caribbean film by far.
Fair.
Davy Jones, wonderful villain. It's well made. There's brilliant sets and choreography and brilliant action sequences, and I think that's just like the definition of a ride, and Johnny Depp's performance gets better as it goes on.
Yeah. I think it's I'm not sure. I think it's at World's End though, which has the liar's dice.
No, that's Dead Man's Chest.
Okay. I just wanted.
Well, interestingly about that, a lot of people gave the Liar's Dice scene a bit of shit for sometimes not making any sense, but actually,
it's really good scene.
There are some deleted scenes which kind of break down and explain the rules more. I think for the purpose of the movie, though, when I looked at it, it was like, it doesn't really matter too much what the rules are. What matters is that Will Turner gets the key.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, absolutely. That was, another big introduction for me. Avatar was also a big one. I know some people like to, shit on Avatar as, not contributing to nerd culture or to pop culture at large. But blue, what is it? Like, help blue people.
Cameron
James Cameron. Yeah. Like support the blue people.
Yeah.
It's very I'm not a big fan of Avatar, but that's because I was exposed to it so much that it kind of dragged on. But I do agree, it really is pivotal to pop culture and nerd culture as an entirety.
Changed the entire landscape of how movies could be made. After that, there were a bunch of crappy post-conversion 3D movies like Clash of the Titans. Ironically has Sam Worthington in it, who I do think is a good actor.
Yeah.
Fight me on that one.
I think Clash of the Titans is an alright movie. Wrath of the Titans sort of gets...
Actually, Wrath of the Titans is better. Clash of the Titans is oh my God, what are you doing?
That's fair enough.
I do think the Medusa scene, though, in Clash of the Titans is pretty good.
Yeah.
That was smooth. That was very smooth.
Yeah, going back to Avatar, what are your thoughts on the sequel? Because that's been...
quite honestly, I'm very excited, but also wondering how the larger... movie community, how culture at large actually takes it this time as opposed to the first one.
Yeah.
I think probably the main pull is that, there's a sequel to that movie that came out 13 years ago now. I better go see that.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of that. But for me, when I watched the trailer, it was beautiful. The visual effects look stunning. I think James Cameron stepped up, living in a real breathing world. I also love the fact that he decided to take that long to develop underwater motion capture technology. Because it's been, I think he said that was the trickiest part of it. It was trying to, how do you capture someone's performance underwater when there's so much reflections going on through water?
Yeah.
And I think they did figure it out. Clearly they have by the fact they're putting out the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think for anyone who's got thalassophobia, though, that's going to be an interesting watch for some people.
Yeah. Have you either of you seen or heard of the original Clash of the Titans, though?
I have not.
Certainly I have not as well, Jermaine. But
the original Clash of the Titans sort of followed in the same story ish sort of thing. They had this was back when the monsters would stop animation because. Yeah, that far back because because they couldn't this wasn't people in costumes. It was it had to make it look real sort of thing. So it was the monsters were animated stop animation. It was a while since the thing. So
was that kind of how they did the original King Kong movie where there was a massive ginormous puppet that was used as a stand-in for the tall buildings and the skyscrapers, and then the other actors are kind of composited into there.
Yeah, it was originally like stop animation for the original King Kong as well.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Was it just as amazing as the recent Clash of the Titans?
I didn't see the full thing. I just saw like snippets of it, but it was clear that it wasn't like it was like stop animation just due to the fact like the flight animation of like harpies that were in it as well.
Oh, lovely.
It was like janky and stuff. So like,
do the performances compare to the masterclass that is Sam Worthington?
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the small snippet of it when I think I was over at someone's house and it was just on TV. So
Oh, fair.
yeah.
Actually, speaking of Sam Worthington, I'm not sure if he actually had a movie recently that I thought he was very good in.
Oh, yeah?
He was in Everest. There was a movie about the people who had climbed Mount Everest and then they got trapped up there.
Oh, I heard
and they
about that,
couldn't make it back. And he was a supporting role. Actually, it was kind of nice to see him in a movie again.
Yeah.
Fair.
He was like was he a Terminator? He was
in a Terminator movie.
Yeah.
He was a human Terminator hybrid.
Salvation.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's actually, of the Terminator sequels that came out after T2, that's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to search him up because
Yeah,
I can't put a name to a face.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on like the ones that came out after Salvation, like Terminator Genesis and that sort of thing?
Really not a fan of Genesis. I haven't seen Dark Fate. All I know about Dark Fate is that John Connor gets killed off in the first 2 minutes, which I'm not sure how that sits with me. I know James Cameron was involved and Tim Miller, the director of Deadpool. I'm sure they probably did a good job, and Linda Hamilton came back. I think of all the sequels that have come out, Salvation is the best one. It has the best portrayal of Kyle Reese that isn't Michael Biehn. That's Anton Yelchin. May he rest in peace. It also has some of the best visual effects of the whole franchise. Some of the best action sequences. I think people give McGee a lot of shit. And also Christian Bale for that infamous rant that he had to the director of photography on set. But I think all things considered, Salvation was probably for me the only one, and I don't count that Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines sequel. That was just, I don't even know what that was. Salvation felt like it was made by someone who wanted to take the series forward, still explore the same themes, but tell a new story. And it was kind of disappointing to me to hear that it was going to be a trilogy. And then they, obviously stopped that trilogy. It seems to be a theme with the Terminator franchise. We want to start a trilogy, but the first movie doesn't do so well.
Yeah, was it Salvation? I haven't seen it, but was it Salvation like set in the year that the Terminator versus Human War was going on? Like in that like it was like in the years that was like. Was it like? I mean, I know the original date said it was like 2004 was when it was set, but was it? Yeah, because we were optimistic.
Salvation was set in 2018, which was not that long ago, to be fair. But luckily, we haven't come to any nuclear apocalypse just yet.
Yeah,
thank God.
Yet. Yeah, no. So, like, what often we would like to do is that we would like to focus on a specific topic. And last episode, we went from a variety of topics from most overrated characters to like video games or that most people wouldn't know about. And then we did a fan cast. We did a little bit of fan casting, so like who would you like to see as who? And in that one, I thought of David Tennant as John Constantine.
I like it, Ryan. I like how you think. I
was comparing him to like his Doctor Who persona, and it was and I was thinking like that sort of personality matches with John Constantine,
Perfect.
and he's able to do like the dark, traumatic, gritty stuff because of Doctor Who. Like he's able to go into it.
Would he be as good as Keanu Reeves?
I don't know. I haven't seen
You haven't seen Constantine?
I have not. I want to. I have not seen it
yet. It's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty underrated.
Yeah. So before we go into this topic, how familiar are you with the Injustice games?
Not super familiar. I do know them, and I do know that they have some good stories. I think. Pardon me, sorry. I do know that one of, I guess, for me, what looked like one of the inspirations for Zack Snyder's vision of the DC characters was the Injustice games, because I think particularly people were struck by the nightmare sequence in Batman v Superman, and then I think he had a little bit more of that when he did his version of Justice League actually last year. I think he took a little bit of the elements of Injustice, like what if Superman was, went evil, or what if those characters went into like a really dark, dire situation. They're fighting games, aren't they?
Yeah, they're fighting games. So what I thought I would do is like we would come up with like characters sort of thing that we would want in Injustice 3, because there's 2 games in previous ones. Before we get into characters we would want, we would have to talk about the characters that would be staying from previous installments. Obviously, the main 3, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, they would have to be mainstays.
Have to stay.
Same with Aquaman, Green Lantern, I feel, and the Flash. Those ones,
I believe, yes, because well, Green Lantern can be traded out, but like at the same time, he's the only leeway for Jon Stewart, which is actually how they usually get most of their fan base, because of the Jon Stewart costume, which is sad that it is a costume, but like. We love Jon Stewart.
Yeah, we love Jon
We definitely need the Robin still in there as well.
Oh,
I mean, like Robin, Cyborg, I think, because like
Cyborg's interesting in the fighting game sense. He's very interesting to play. He's really fun as a character to have in the game. It's just when
for sure,
in the competitive scene, he's like. I think he's like moderately dominating, but he's also like really hard. But Cyborg definitely should stay.
Has his I don't know, like has his ability changed from 1 to 2?
Oh yes, and so from Injustice 1 and 2, they do change the abilities. However, they give you the lovely luxury of some characters will keep their abilities. Some characters have new abilities, but then they have this thing that you can get from a loot box where you can actually pull their old ability. Cyborg has that. So he has a new ability in the Injustice 2 that's called the Mother Box, but you can pull...
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, but you can pull the through a loot box, you can pull his old ability from Injustice 1, which is...
a fucking heal.
Yeah, it's just a heal. And it's like not as useful in the competitive scene, not as much as the Mother Box, because the Mother Box is the starting for all your combos, whereas healing just like heals you like, I think, what is it, 5% per second, which is not a lot.
I'll tell you who I'd love to see in an Injustice game. I'm not sure if this has actually been done yet.
Okay.
I would love to actually see Darkseid.
Darkseid was actually a DLC character. He
was?
Yeah, he's
Injustice
in
2.
Injustice 2. Like,
I could just picture the like a combo move using the laser beams and
there's several.
Oh wow, fantastic!
He was actually
I need to play this game right now.
Yeah, he was actually top tier. He actually like dominated the first 2 years of the competitive side.
No shit, it was Darkseid. He was going to.
It was funny, because like everyone
Daddy
didn't know what to do.
Darkseid.
Indeed. Oh, he walloped, and then the DLC came out, and then like it became evened out.
Yeah,
people didn't touch Darkseid anymore because Darkseid was like way too OP, which means it's really boring.
He was the same as Shao Kahn was for Mortal Kombat 11, where he was like, if you bought him as if you pre-ordered, he's like a pre-order bonus sort of thing. Yeah.
I thought you said Sam's competitive.
Have you ever played those Tekken games? Because I remember my first exposure to kind of like that style of fighting game was probably Tekken 5. I go way back. And I remember I really remember trying to. I always played it with my brother, and my brother just always knew all the right combos. He would play this specific character, and I can't remember the name of the character.
Do you know what the character looked like? Yeah.
Kind of had a ponytail. He was a bit shirtless. He had like red pants.
Keep describing him. I think
Kind of had a bit of a monk kind of look, but he like had
he's talking about Lee.
Finn. No, he's talking about Finn.
Oh, Finn, right.
I think Finn, yes.
Finn,
yes.
Yeah,
finally.
This is the Tekken nerd.
I'm the Tekken nerd. You were talking about the Kenpo Master Finn. Yeah.
I was thinking about Lee, who was like very similar. I was just thinking about, I was just thinking about the style that you were doing with the movement, like his Joker boxer sort of thing.
Actually, you know what?
Lay.
Get Finn in for Injustice 3 because I know he's not DC, but just get him in there.
You'd be surprised. They could. Well, I don't think Tekken would give that, but like really possible. I'd love to see a Tekken DC crossover.
DC and Tekken communicate.
Yeah. Harada, talk to Ed Boon. This will work amazingly.
Yeah, this will work. Yeah, nah. We need a Street Fighter X Mortal Kombat before we get that though.
I forgot. That's Lost Media.
What?
No. So Ed Boon did this fun little thing where he was like, because everyone was crying to Ed Boon, like, oh, you should do a crossover with Street Fighter because you guys are like, at the time, they were two of the greatest competing games. So Ed Boon literally shat out the worst crossover, and all the jokes were like, it was all in the jokes as well. Like there was dialogues between Ryu and Scorpion in like text, and one of them was literally just like Ryu just saying like, oh, Hadouken, Shoryuken, and Scorpion just replying with, oh, I fucking hate crossovers. And I was like, this is stupid, but extremely amazing. It is so horribly done. They just took the sprites from both games and just mashed them into this ugly ass game.
Oh, my goodness.
It's official. It's an actual thing. Yeah.
Crossovers can be really cool though. Like I think like you guys probably you know Kingdom Hearts, right?
Oh yeah,
like I think those sorts of games can just be like, you know, really like joyful because you get to see all your characters. That's also part of the reason, you know, if you now have recently seen Spider-Man's come out on PC, like all the mods that people are creating. People have already created mods like Amazing Spider-Man 2, so you can swing as Scorpion or Rhino or Silver Sable
or Kingpin.
Kingpin and beat up Spider-Man.
Exactly.
It makes it feel so crossover-y. Like games. I like that. Like now having a PC and being a PC gamer now.
Meet your PC gamer.
I know, but like being able to actually do that kind of thing now.
Yeah.
Like I
the
never had the
modding
luxury of
community,
that playing on PS3 or PS4.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad that some games allow like people to mod their games? Riot. I'm gonna talk about this right now because like it pisses me off to, like, because Riot Games, for those who don't know, is a company or it's owned by Tencent, who made League of Legends, Legend of Runeterra, and Arcane, the show. They're responsible for that. But with League of Legends being like one of their most popular games, people like to add their own custom skins to the game, and like the custom skins would just be like it's like one of the champions who spins, let's turn them into a fidget spinner or a Beyblade, and like it does nothing else apart from that. And it, like this one is like there's a mecha skin for a champion, and it's like, all right, we'll turn that into a Thomas the Tank Engine skin because he turns into like a train as he crashes towards his opponent.
Oh, yeah.
They did some coding and stuff to get rid of the ability to do that.
Oh wow!
Honestly, I'm odd that you brought that up because literally this morning I was talking to my mate because Multiverses is literally just on the same thing.
What?
They're actually like blocking out these mods now for costuming on PC. You can no longer get Freddy Fazbear as Superman, or what was another iconic one that I found really funny? Oh, Cuphead Bugs Bunny. Yeah, they're cutting out all of that now. Apparently, you can't mod Multiverse anymore. You never, like, if you were caught modding originally, you get cut off. But apparently, they're also trying to do that with coding. They're trying to cut out the modding.
No, I think I think they explained the reason for it was because Riot, not Multiverses. I don't know the situation there. I think they explained it as people would get accounts permanently banned for scripting.
Oh no!
For scripting, and it was just the software would pick that up as like a script that would interfere with gameplay, and so it would permanently ban them, that sort of thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, a great game for mods, because I remember watching the Honest trailer. Well, that is one, but one of the ones that I remember watching the Honest trailer for, actually, and seeing all the mods. If you want to get some of those iconic characters, Skyrim, man, Thomas the Tank Engine as a dragon, Macho Man Randy Savage as the dragon.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
There's so many goodies.
Macho Man Dragon Damage.
There's so many good mods in Skyrim. Like it's like the modding machine, I think. That game.
Yeah. Oh, that's because like unlike Riot and Multiverses, Skyrim found out like very early. Bethesda found out really early. Like instead of shitting on these mods, why not embrace them? Yeah. Because like they did that, and it garnered.
And then they went in the wrong direction. But anyway,
and like thanks to them being like, this is actually bringing in a lot to the community. A lot of people are now consuming our games because of these stupid mods. So let's make it a thing. And they even have like a small. I think recently, I don't know how recent this has been, but they have like now a modding part in the menu. Now on console, they've actually made modding available.
I think
on
they
console.
do. I think,
then they started charging for it.
did they?
Yeah.
Did they put it in the menus for like the golden edition or like those anniversary
anniversary
editions?
edition, yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, no, it was like their first DLC though was back in Oblivion.
Damn.
No, like not like,
And it went into oblivion.
yeah, because they were charging people for horse armor.
What the fuck?
That was like one of the biggest controversies in the game. It was that they were charging for charging DLC for the ability for horses to wear armor.
That's so
The armor
dumb.
looked shit, but that wasn't the point.
What you're saying right now is one of the biggest. I'm saying this kind of passionately, but this is one of the biggest reasons that I freaking am just.
You're allowed to swear.
Yeah. I fucking just do not like the way Assassin's Creed has gone, because I swear to God, they charge you an arm and a leg. With Origins, Valhalla, or Odyssey, I can't even remember now, but they charge you an arm and a leg for a pack, like where they basically build the game around the fact that, like, yes, this is really grindy and really hard and really difficult for you to do.
Is this
And
talking about loot boxes?
well, not quite loot boxes, but it's so grindy to the point where, you know, you feel like, you know, you're not going to get anywhere because you have to like basically level up to progress to a certain story point. So you're trying to grind and you're doing this grind, but eventually it just gets tiring. So it feels like you have to cave and then spend money on a bunch of these, you know, time savers, or you buy like the special armor pack. Like I think they charge freaking something like, I can't remember, like 15 or 20 pounds for like a UK pounds or something for like a pack where you get like a flaming horse and like a shield and everything.
Jesus.
I'm just like, this is just completely the opposite of what Assassin's Creed was. And I think it's happened to a lot of games as well. Like especially, like, I mean, Call of Duty, I feel like kind of gets away with that because I think they've, you know, now shifted into like things like Warzone and they've got the live service thing now, which I think Assassin's Creed's going to do that. So
I know what you mean with that, because I recently got back into Assassin's Creed. I just started Origins. You're not kidding. Like Origins has its charm, but like the grind set thing, honestly, it's so fucking annoying because like I just want to go through the story because it's a very good story, but I can't go to the story because I have to do like a fuck ton of other side quests,
little side missions, and that's the thing. That's how they get you. It's like they make it. Origins is a little less punishing. Like you don't, but it goes to new heights in Odyssey because, like, it's the grind fest game. And you know Valhalla. I think supposedly I haven't played Valhalla. Like I don't think for some reason I just I was invested in Assassin's Creed for a long time. I think my favorite one, like I played every single one up until I think Origins. I did play a little bit of Odyssey, but I couldn't get through it. And at that point, I didn't care enough about the story. I think it was just for me, Assassin's Creed has always been about like that modern day story interconnecting with the past. Yeah. And that became, it's just clear that Ubisoft's intentions with that is it's not nowhere near the priority it used to be. Yeah. I think once they killed Desmond, I mean, I played Black Flag and there was lots of cool stuff in there. There was even cool stuff in Rogue, Syndicate, and Unity. But eventually, you know, fool me once, shame on me. You know, fool me twice, shame on me. But then, like, fool me several other freaking times, like, you know, shame on you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I get what you mean. Yeah, because I did research. Because, like, after Desmond's story arc, outside of it, fucking cool. It was so amazing. Cool. Very good. And then Black Flag onwards, it was like... And it breathed through it. Black Flag is still one of my favorites.
Black Flag is amazing. Like it's a great game. They improved on a lot of what they did in 3, and I'll definitely say that Edward's story is very emotional. Exactly, but it's just like the way they tie those things together. Like I just hated in Black Flag. I'm not sure if you remember this. Like the slight piss take of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie trailer at the end because they're like you know, you're working for Abstergo Entertainment, which is basically Ubisoft, and not wrong, and like a game company that's taking the memories of real ancestors, which I suppose was kind of like cool. It was like, oh, so what if the games that, you know, people are making in the real world are actually things that people are taking from other people? I was like, oh, okay, well, challenge the corporations that put out stuff like we're kind of doing right now. But I just think it wasn't quite as interesting as a story where like you've got this, because one of the things that I made a video on YouTube, right? was sort of how the way. Have you played Control? It's a.
I still need to play Control.
I've seen people play Control, but I haven't played it myself.
So Control does sort of something similar to Assassin's Creed, not in the same way though. But basically, the thing I point out is how games sort of make things part of the narrative. So with Assassin's Creed, you've got the Animus, right?
Yeah.
You've got a machine that allows you to relive your ancestors' memories. But why do you have that? Well, because story-wise, you're explaining things for why you have a health bar. Instead of calling it a health bar, it's called a synchronization bar.
Yeah.
Because it fits within like the narrative that the game is built around. And why else do you have buttons like, press A to do this or press something to do that? It's because you're actually in a simulation, you're in like a world like that. So those elements don't feel nearly as intrusive, right? You've got these things that actually feel like they're part of the story. Whereas with other games, like, yeah, definitely, like they are good and everything, but do they think like that deeply about why those elements are there? Like how does it tell that story? And then that's one of the interesting things about why Desmond is such an integral part, because when you actually go out of the Animus, those HUD elements are not even present. Like you're just playing the game, and because you've spent so much time playing the actual game, you just know how to play as Desmond.
Yeah.
And that's one of the really cool things about it. It's like it thinks about the story. It thinks about why you have certain things. And, why you have eagle vision, for example, or why you have... little data feeds, like why, tutorials pop up, just like those little tiny things that, I don't think a lot of games think about. And that's why I get so immersed into it, because it feels like a whole world rather than just like, here's a game with a cool world, but, here's all these video gamey elements.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing. And circling back to microtransactions, it's just like, it's now no longer, they've taken this thing, and which I guess you could say like, oh, well, it's the Animus, so, they're, showing you these like things virtually and, Abstergo Entertainment, but that's like a scapegoat. It's well, at least it feels like a scapegoat, if you know what I mean now. It no longer feels so like this is serving the narrative. It feels like this is a scapegoat for pushing a bunch of shit down your throat.
You're not wrong. Like in Black Flag, when they introduced Abstergo, that was cool because the reveal was that like they were Templars, and Abstergo is using that like we're making video games to hide the fact that they're actually doing evil, malicious shit.
Yeah.
And like that was cool. But now in this new, because I followed the storylines, because there's Desmond's arc. The second one was, this one pisses me off because I recently found this out because I played through Syndicate. So from Black Flag to Syndicate, that was the Phoenix Project story arc outside of it.
Yes.
Basically, Juno, one of the previous gods, wants to get their body back.
Yeah.
And they're like working that hard. If you play Syndicate, they're trying to look for the shroud. And like, at the end of Syndicate, they get the shroud, and like it paves way. Like, oh, the new game's going to be super cool. We're probably going to have to fight Juno or something outside of the Animus. Nope, they shelve it to a book.
Yeah, I remember that they put it in a comic series where, because there's the annoying thing. They set up the idea that Desmond had a son. So in Syndicate, like there was these Animus fragments that you collected throughout Syndicate, and every time you collected a certain amount, you got like an audio file that revealed a little bit of information trickling. And when you get to the final audio recording, oh, it's juicy. It's basically saying the doctor character who's in the modern day is saying, check out this kid's patrilineal line and check out this kid's matrilineal line, whatever it is. And he says, Renaissance Italy, American Revolution. And you go, well, who's got the same bloodline as this kid, Desmond? So you think, has Desmond had a kid that we don't know about? But then you find out that kid is actually in that comic series that you're talking about.
Exactly. And it was stupid because the reason why they did that, why they shoved it to the book, was because they wanted to, because why Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla are like how they are, is because I think they had like this thing where it's like, oh, it's gotten boring now because we keep doing the same thing, which isn't bad. Like I get sometimes if you think, oh, your game's a bit too boring, change it up. But they switched it up a lot. So basically, they shelved the Phoenix Project.
Shelved it.
And to introduce Layla, who is this new character. And in Origins, like I don't like how far away it is from Assassin's Creed, but it does have its charm because thanks to this, to Layla being the new arc, it gives reason why they dropped the Eagle Vision and all that stuff. Yeah, because she doesn't have a bloodline like Desmond. That's the rule of the Eagle Vision. Whoever has the lineage of Desmond has access to the Eagle Vision. Layla just randomly is this person who's really trying to get back to Abstergo's like high-ranking lines. She wants to work in Abstergo. So she's using random fucking historical beings and their bloodline to like work through the Animus. And like, I get that. It's very cool because they explain like, oh, why he doesn't have eagle visions is because he's just some random Magi from Egypt and all that stuff, which is cool. But like, you can't blue ball us with Syndicate with all that juicy stuff,
know.
and then just be like, nope, comic book.
Exactly, and it's one of the biggest ways you can like just essentially piss on your fans, really,
exactly,
like who've been following that. And I'll tell you one thing. I do get that people don't like the modern story sometimes in Assassin's Creed. I get it. But the way I see it, it's the whole thing that glues the thing together. So, like, even if you don't like it, you can't even deny that that is the thing that's like holding the whole thing together. So it's like sometimes I hate saying this. It sounds a bit snooty, but like if you don't like it, don't play it.
No, that's exactly it.
And that's the thing. I think Ubisoft should have just stuck with their guns. But that's the thing. Like, I think what I've settled on with Assassin's Creed is that it was a really good series, and I'll still enjoy those earlier games where it was very cohesive and fun. Brotherhood's still my favorite. Maybe any of those except maybe actually the first one. No, the first one in Brotherhood I think are probably the best ones.
Not wrong.
Because the first one just has so much charm and it does it so well. Brotherhood is kind of like just perfect.
I agree.
But yeah, I think where I settle on it now, it's like, I enjoyed those earlier games, but just I think the new ones are just for a newer generation, and I just have to kind of like accept
sort
that
of
now.
like Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go sort of thing, like Teen Titans Goes,
or Yu-Gi-Oh! Original and Yu-Gi-Oh! DX5, right? Like there's no correlation from Yu-Gi-Oh! Original to Yu-Gi-Oh! DX5. It's just, and that's when I watched that new series. I was like, like as a kid, I was like, I don't want to watch this. This is where's Yugi?
Where's my characters?
Like going back to like if you don't like it, don't play it sort of thing. That in itself has its like own limitations because you wouldn't be far-fetched to think that in a Star Wars game you would get Darth Vader inside the game and like be able to play as Darth Vader without needing to pay for it.
Oh my god! Wait, which game are you talking about here?
This is talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2 with a remake. When this was like they've laid it off now, but like originally they charged people to play Darth Vader. They charged for like that sort of DLC. It's just like
stupid.
They didn't do that for like any of the characters from the newer trilogy, like Force Awakens, that sort of thing. No, they just did that with Darth Vader, and it was fucking ridiculous.
Well, that's so infuriating because I remember playing Battlefront 2, like the campaign, and I was like, this actually isn't a bad campaign. This is actually pretty solid. Like graphically, it looks great, and the presentation's really good, music's good, but it just and I wanted more, but like it saddens me to hear that they actually did that with Darth Vader because like that's a character that you just expect to play in a Star Wars game.
If you're selling Star Wars, Darth Vader has to be in it somewhat. He is like he's like the pivotal character for Star Wars. It's just like
he's a big icon that like garners a lot, and I think that's why they did that because they were like, oh, what could get us a lot of money? Darth Vader. Everyone loves Darth Vader. Everyone wants Darth Vader. Let's make him a price, which is probably why they did that. Which is still stupid, but also it's EA Games. What do you expect? They fucking suck.
I don't know, but like they could like. They could have done alternate like variations of alternate variations of different characters. Like I mean, like they have done that, but like though, like it's like they need something that's like to charge for. It's just like why wouldn't you charge for like Snoke? Like he's like.
Fair.
It's like you want to see what Snoke can do. We will show you. Here's Snoke as a playable character. Like that would.
Oh yeah.
I did see an interesting video about this actually though, and because
this was before Rise of Skywalker. By the way, I don't care about Snoke anymore.
But it's interesting that you say that because like I did see an interesting video before. it was sort of talking about why the gaming industry is in the state that it's in, with why game companies are now putting microtransactions and stuff in. Because I think it's because these days, the way games used to be produced, like you made billions of copies of the game, or so many copies, and then people bought the disc versions, right? There wasn't quite so much a focus on the digital, but now these days people aren't so much buying like the physical copies of the games anymore. Like, you can still get them, but the thing is, today, and it's sad, but unfortunately gaming companies don't make a lot of their money from the physical sales or even like the digital sale of the games. A lot of where they make their money is where it's invested into people still prolonging the life of the game by purchasing like DLC or
actually, like the whole digital marketing has screwed up a lot of things, not just like physical copies for like games. Like the whole Black Widow debacle was because of that, because like people weren't like going in to see Black Widow in cinemas because a pandemic sort of thing. Like,
they just threw it on,
and then they put it on Disney Plus and weren't giving ScarJo like the proper profits from it because it was Disney Plus. It wasn't the movie, so whatever.
Something to do with her contract, I think. I think it was meant to be. I think her contract. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I think her contract was meant to be that the movie was meant to be released in theaters, like exclusively, but then they just put it on Disney Plus.
It was just like I think it was like they put it on Disney Plus, but gave very little of it, like the profit from it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But like, the digital age has really fucked up the gaming industry, and it's like really
kidding.
hard. And it's like really sad to see. But like you also got to factor in like there's also like the fan bases of like just absolute shitters, which back in like before the digital age, like, well, not that games have always been around the digital age, but before like what we have now, like it was all mouth to ear. Like, if you found something about a game, you'd only be able to hear it about someone, and like, so if someone said like this game sucked, only a few people would hear that because that one person played it, which means people would still buy that game, and they'd still get the profit. Nowadays, if you get like one very famous influencer just say, so I played this game for 5 minutes and it fucking sucked, don't buy it. Everyone's like, oh well, they played it for 5 minutes, they said it sucked, we're not going to play it. And like, it's that also that influences like the gaming industry getting shut down.
The sting of influencer culture as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And I understand like gaming is like it's a very what's the word? It's a very tough industry to like break into, sort of thing.
Yeah, it very much is.
I'm just thinking about Steam mostly when I'm saying this. There are too many games. Too many, and like too many like original ideas for games, sort of thing. It's just like there needs to be like some sort of threshold, because
games take a long time to play, right?
Games take a long some games take a long time to play, but some games like as you said, some people will take 5 minutes of it and then like not play it, sort of thing. I'm not sure if either of you have heard of this game in particular. It was one that Markiplier played, and it was, I wish I was joking, but I'm not. And he starts it off by saying, yes, you've read the title correctly. This is a game called Chair Fucking Simulator.
That's right, yeah.
That's cheerful? What the fuckity? What?
It's a game where you fuck chairs.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing. That game, okay, so if like I don't know my high-end games, but like there's that game, right? Chair Fucking Simulator. It's a game about fucking chairs, right? Literally, like that game like shot up because it's goofy content, shot up, and there are actually like high-end games that don't get as much love because of people not either talking about it or people shitting on it. Like, for example, Valhalla. Like, Chair Fucking Simulator, I'm not throwing a leap and saying Chair Fucking Simulator did way better, but like Chair Fucking Simulator definitely shot up more in positive reviews than Valhalla did.
Just because it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the annoying thing about the industry as well. These goofy abstract concepts of like these dumb games with like funny goofy aspects of it beat these games that spend years and years creating, and like they get outshined by a basement game.
It almost doesn't just seem fair, because you think about the amount of employees that work at a company like Ubisoft, and they're probably grinding their asses out to try and get the game finished. Like that's actually one of the big things I don't really like about hearing about the gaming industry, is the amount of grind and crunch that there is to complete a game. I think 70% of the original dev team of Last of Us Part 2 left partway through the development because it was just so crunchy and so like just too much.
Well, that and Neil Druckmann kind of like was really annoying in that production. But like, I heard from the news, like, they got rid of the original writer for Last of Us 1. I haven't played. I still want to play Last of Us 2, so like I don't know much.
It's actually a very good game, which is, because I played it once, through. It sort of has a bit of that ludonarrative dissonance problem that I think a lot of people talk about. Like, you'll probably play the game eventually. I'm going to spoil it slightly. But like, essentially, Ellie goes through this whole game just killing people so brutally.
Yeah.
And you're feeling like her rage. And then at the very end of the game, you don't kill the person who killed someone that you cared about and you've been chasing the entire game. You just go, what?
What, is it one of those storylines that are just
like Neil Druckmann? Explain, please.
He won't. Like, I love Neil Druckmann. He gave us the Last of Us series.
This feels like a bit Austin Powers-y. There'll be times where or like when the henchmen sort of like die in like horrific ways, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I can't kill Dr. Evil. It's just like, wow.
No, it definitely sounds. I can't wait to play it so I can understand look into the storyline. But like, it sounds a lot like you did all this work, and then at the end, after this giant genocide, you're like, a change of heart. Like, maybe it's not that bad. It's like, no, it's entirely bad. Kill him.
I get what the moral was and what they were going for, but it just like seemed very strange given Ellie's character throughout the whole game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's like doesn't match contrast.
Well, it just, I think I got what they were going for. I don't think the development was entirely there.
That's fair. I mean,
I think it's a very good game. Like, it looks nice, it plays well, and I'll be interested to see how the Last of Us Part 1 remake goes. But with like some of the updated gameplay, and because I think they're using the Last of Us Part 2 gameplay, which is superb, for the Last of Us Part 1, which I'm actually really excited about. Last of Us Part 2 is an interesting case, actually.
Yeah.
But, speaking of The Last of Us, have you seen the new trailer for The Last of Us on HBO?
No, I haven't. Did that drop?
That did. They got like a very quick HBO new movies coming out.
I haven't seen that.
It looks fucking cool. Like Pedro Pascal is playing Joel.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah, that's right.
It looks very cool. But it also looks like it's like nearly frame by frame the game, like storyline and stuff. It looks like it's nearly frame by frame. The storyline is like probably going to be altered a little bit, but it still keeps the Last of Us storyline, which is fucking cool.
Actually, speaking of Pedro Pascal, I want to make sure that I've got this right. No, he's not the one that plays Moon Knight, is he?
No, that's Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, yeah.
Oh, Oscar Isaac, right. I'm sorry. But like, I don't know, because I was thinking about Oscar Isaac like recently, because I was thinking like the first time that I saw him was in Star Wars, because like, But I fucking lied. So the first time I saw him was actually X-Men Apocalypse.
Oscar
Isaac. Right. Yeah.
He's Apocalypse.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
What?
Did you not know that?
No.
Bro,
I'm
Mr. Blue Guy Apocalypse Man is Oscar Isaac. You didn't know that?
No. I thought it was. I mean, I heard that like because I didn't know Oscar Isaac until Moon Knight. I saw him in Star Wars, obviously, but like I didn't know Oscar Isaac until Star Wars.
Yeah.
So like but I did know when it came out, everyone was talking about Apocalypse being this great actor. I didn't realize that it was Oscar Isaac though.
Yeah,
Right.
no, but like with the makeup and stuff on, you wouldn't have known.
I actually have something because this is something about Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I'd actually seen him in this movie. Now that to get you, Ryan, actually onto like some other topics as well.
Yeah.
This is a topic of a very underrated movie.
Okay.
It includes
Right.
Oscar Isaac, and I didn't realize I'd seen him in this movie until really recently actually, and that is Sucker Punch.
I still need to watch that.
Now that is Zack Snyder's only original movie.
Right.
Say what you will about that, but it's beautifully directed. A lot of people gave it shit when it came out, but I think people were really uncomfortable with the confronting nature of it, because actually what that movie is about is confronting men's entitlement to women. Because it's also commenting on nerd culture as well.
Yeah.
And the way females are sort of made to look and in
certain media,
in certain media. So that's some of like the deeper social commentary of the film. But Oscar Isaac plays the villain in that. He plays he's so creepy. Oh man, there's just one scene where he's talking about no one else can like touch my toys essentially, and and like that he's like that's like the main point that the director's making about that whole social commentary aspect. But even just aside from that, like the movie is super underrated. Like it looks like a graphic novel, even though it's not based on anything. It's you've got these different levels. You've got these badass female chicks like killing robot zombies. Sorry, not robot zombies. They're killing Nazi zombies. Sorry, going through this level where on a train where there are robots and AI. And then this one level where the main female lead kills a dragon. Like there's just so much going on in that movie. Like there's different like levels of reality as well. I think it's one of the more underrated films that exists, and I would encourage people maybe to watch the director's cut, because I think it makes certain points a bit clearer and makes the intention of certain things a bit clearer.
I might give it a watch, but it was funny you saying it's like to get you onto different topics. We didn't actually talk at all about like the topic that we were talking about. We were trying to talk about Injustice characters, like characters we would want in Injustice, and I'm going to circle back to a character we talked about because because like in the first one we had Zatanna, and in the second one we had Enchantress, and in the third one we would need like a magically based character, so of course it would have to be John Constantine, right?
I'm still waiting for John Constantine to be put in Injustice. As a person who enjoyed the games and like a big fan of the fighting game genre, John Constantine would be so good, and his abilities would also be just as good.
Yeah, I feel like his physical combos as well could have like that drunken boxer sort of flair to it as well.
Exactly. Like it's like he's not easy to make. Like I'm not gonna be like, because a lot of people who think fighting games fighting games are easy, just make them do this. He's not easy to like make, but he's like kind of like easy to mold. So like he's still very easy to be put in the game, and like he's got a vast kit that can be used. It's just like I don't understand why they don't put him in there.
I'd actually like to see the version of Joker that was in Batman Arkham Asylum, where one of the special abilities is you can take like the special juice that like makes him like super like big
Titan?
Yeah,
it was called Titan because that was like because it was like turn people into like Titan sort of thing. You're thinking Venom is the one for Bane, Titan is the one that was just used for people in general.
That was the what was it? Altercated? Yeah, the Altercated.
But like a version of Joker that has that ability, I think that'd be really fun, because then you have like Batman Arkham Asylum Joker in.
Well, I mean, like you can get the alternate costume for Mark Hamill's Joker
in
amazing.
But like you don't get the cool like hulky, bulky Joker.
Which is why John Constantine would actually be really good as well, because the third game could be set around like a multiverse level event.
Right. No, yeah, it could. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Or like a multiverse level threat sort of thing.
Well, there were rumors that Injustice 3 was going to be Injustice 0 because there are many leaks about the upcoming Injustice thing. And apparently they recently showed cover art of a recent comic called Injustice 0, which was odd because it took place before the events of Injustice 1.
Right.
That's why it's 0. But like everyone was like, cool, we might get an Injustice 0 game. And then like Ed Boon's fighting the like allegations, but that's because there might be he might be potentially hiding the reason, because he's not putting out any more Mortal Kombat or Injustice games for a while. But that is because there is rumors that he is working on a Marvel project.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it looks interesting because like they're just rumors, but like he doesn't defend them well. Like there are 2 interviews from I think 2019, 2020, 2021 between that time frame where people are like, so we've heard that there is a potential for a DC versus Marvel fighting game, and he said, well, I cannot confirm nor deny that Marvel has approached us. And then there was a second interview where they were like, apparently you're working on a Marvel project, a possible Marvel fighting game. And he said the same thing. I can't confirm nor deny that Marvel has approached us and given us the rights to do so. But if they did, and we were able to confirm, I think would be pretty fun. Which is basically him saying like, we're either
making it.
Yeah. He's either making it or he's fighting to make it. And like, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like I've seen a video on Build the Roster where they talk about Injustice 3, or like what the story would be and like who would be the big bad, and they've suggested like the Anti-Monitor sort of thing,
right?
Would be like, but I have a different sort of like big bad villain sort of thing, because you might recall from the first game like the alternate version of Raven. Like
I'm thinking,
like the one with the red skin and like the feathers. That
you mean Injustice 1?
Injustice 1, yeah.
Trigon Raven, yeah.
Yeah, and this was the Raven that was like wanting to like bring on Trigon's return sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like we didn't see her in an Injustice 2 game at all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't that be a good reason to bring her in, but also bring in Trigon?
Well, there's a possibility. So I did a deep dive into the Injustice 1 background. Raven is in Injustice 1, and like as that's the Trigon form. Sadly, Trigon, if they go through the comics, which they did in Injustice 2, Trigon is stuck in an infinite space fighting Mr. Piddlix. I don't know how to say it.
Mixfix Piddlix.
Mixfix Piddlix. Trigon is stuck in a constant space of just fighting each other for eternity. So Trigon, unless he gets out, like that'd be cool. That is a good big bad, and like
and then you could have like Mr. Mixfix Piddlix.
What if you just did like? I mean, this is a bad example because everyone hated the game. But what if you just did an MVCI and you just made like a Trigon Mixelpidalic like mash of a character? That would be fucking broken. It would be a good threat too, and original,
like a 5th dimension Trigon or something.
Exactly. Like it'd be a good big villain because like it's also original, which means it's not biting off of like an already thing. And since it gives it a new element and it is original, people will want to see what the fuck it means. Like,
I just want to say this time to say for a moment that you guys are awesome. I love you guys.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
Thank you for so
awesome
much
as
for having me on the
well,
show.
man.
I unfortunately have no clue exactly about Trigon or any of this stuff
fair.
at this point, but I'm just enjoying hearing you guys so passionately talk about this.
Yeah. But like, I mean, and like another character that I would want, and you could maybe get in on this conversation as well.
Yeah.
Because if you, I mean, like they'll need another like big brute character after unaliving Grodd, because
Another brute character.
Grundy, Doomsday, they're all like gone to the ages apparently.
Yeah. Killer Croc.
I've been waiting for Killer Croc as well. I was hoping it was an Injustice 2.
I had an idea if you did do a Marvel DC crossover fighting game, like what if you, I reckon, get in either a skin or like a version of Tom Hardy's Venom. Which would be super cool. Like you could just like flip between Tom Hardy making like funny jokes or
exactly.
or and then Venom like, going, like Eddie. Oh, I didn't know I could even do that voice. I still can.
He turned himself into a pickle, Eddie. He turned himself into a pickle. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Yes, actually.
Give me, like, I don't know.
Can we just get like Ryan doing it, like, you know, Eddie, like, sorry, like Venom, like, you know, for a whole podcast.
I don't know who you are or what you want, but I will find you and I will kill you.
Why the hell would we do that?
Get all the bodies and stack them up in the corner. Fuck that guy.
That's the only one I know.
Time to die.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
No, I mean us. We are going to die.
Get a whole podcast of this, man.
I didn't actually think that my Venom impression was actually that good, so thank you for that.
No, it's good.
Let's bite all their heads off and pile them up in the corner. Not there's a red one.
I can't do the voice.
But Killer Croc would be amazing for Injustice.
He would be, and like it's like. I know I shouldn't like call it because obviously there are a lot of stuff that go into putting a character into a game.
Wait, but which type of Killer Croc though? Is it the beautiful Killer Croc from Suicide Squad, or are we like talking Killer Croc from maybe Batman Arkham Origins? Or?
I'm hoping Origins.
I'm thinking more Arkham Knight.
Oh, shit.
Because like for those that don't know, in Arkham Knight they explore like the disease taking more and more control over him, sort of thing, and him being like much heavier and giving him like the full length tail, sort of thing, and like making him like really fucking animalistic. I would want that version because simply just for the ability to use his tail as like a combo for moves.
Yeah, exactly.
But like also because then like with that sort of body frame, you can make him, instead of like a brawler or like a heavy juggernaut, you can make him into a grappler.
Exactly. And like it works, especially since like he's got the teeth, and Netherrealm are really good at using sharp teeth people, like characters as grappler characters. It has the opportunity. I don't know, like I guess it's like a licensing problem of why you can't do that. But I've been waiting for Killer Croc since.
Yeah. And like one of his moves, like one of his special moves could be like locking them with his teeth and doing a death roll.
Exactly.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Really fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know what I actually just realized as we were talking about this, because we were talking about Injustice games here.
Yeah.
We went through the whole ringer of microtransactions, bad gaming industry, all that mumbo jumbo. Title of this episode: Injustice. Ooh. That's a theme.
I will say I did think about that, but I also thought of maybe calling it like it's like pay $5.90 to see the title.
Transaction fail.
Oh, that's actually a good one too.
Yeah, that's true.
They figure out the name when they watch it. Listen to it.
Watch it. What other characters do you think would be really good?
Oh, apparently there was a leak because apparently in Injustice games they always, especially in Injustice 2, they have they got really great licensing to like branch out. So Injustice 2 has access to the entire TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
that
was so good.
Hellboy, he was in DLC 2, and who was the other one that came in that was outside of DC?
The one that was out of Sub-Zero?
Yeah, Sub-Zero and Raiden. So like in saying that, like there is potential.
Mortal Kombat got Spawn in the game as well.
Yeah, and they're really good at licensing that. In saying that, what I did hear though, which I really would love to see, either Neo from the Matrix or the Agent.
Agent 47
from Matrix.
Yeah, Agent Smith.
Agent Smith. I want Agent Smith or Neo in there because they can do so much with that character, especially in Injustice. I'd love to see Agent Smith in Mortal Kombat because I don't want to ever see Keanu Reeves get eviscerated like that.
Yeah.
But like Neo would be so good in Injustice because of the entire gameplay and kit.
Do you know what I would say? It would be breathtaking.
He'd be so breathtaking. You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
But like, I'm struggling to think about like who would replace Deadshot because like
a Zona character outside of Green Arrow.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like because like I'm just thinking more like marksman characters because like Injustice 1 had Deathstroke, Injustice 2 had Deadshot.
I've got one for you.
Oh yeah.
Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man.
He can work.
I mean, like, yes, but like also I have two alternatives just now, sort of thing.
Okay.
Thinking about Suicide Squad actually, either Bloodsport because like that's
or
Peacemaker.
I mean, both of them have garnered the.
Would we want? Oh, I'm just trying to
John
think.
Cena?
John Cena's Peacemaker.
Oh, we would absolutely
yeah.
have that as like a costume sort of thing, but like also, yeah.
Oh, I know that John
can
Cena
we,
would
can we
definitely
make a
do.
special combo? If you get like a special combo hit, and his name is John Cena.
They definitely would reference that. They would definitely reference John Cena.
No, like if they do that, it would just be like, and his name is Peacemaker, and then it would just be, and you just hear eagles like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do like that idea though. Peacemaker in Injustice 3.
Not only
like
would that be like a marksman sort of character, but it would add another comic relief character as well.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh, I just realized who I wanted to see in this game now. Because I hate the way they did this character dirty in the theatrical version of Suicide Squad.
Right.
I know David Ayers meant to have a version where this didn't happen, but I would love to see El Diablo. Like,
yeah.
bro, that dude is sick.
He was amazing. In the comics, he's even cool.
In the movie, he was done so dirty because he just died
Yeah.
and stupidly.
he sacrificed himself.
But in the original version that David Ayer apparently made, which doesn't have licensed music and is actually a good movie, he didn't die. So that's I'm hoping release the Ayer cut. We've already had the Snyder cut. Why not the Ayer cut?
Exactly.
But yeah, I think Diablo would be so cool because all the fire powers, and just like the amount of things. I think I have a soft spot for fire characters.
Oh
Yeah,
same.
I mean, we're getting close to wrapping up this episode, but before we go, I wanted to talk about, because this is more like, this is Suicide Squad related. This is also Gorilla Grodd related because of the Flash TV series sort of thing.
Right.
And it's like, if they couldn't get Killer Croc to replace Gorilla Grodd, there is a very perfect alternative. I could
Do tell.
And his name is King Shark,
That's
motherfucker.
exactly what I thought.
King Shark. Oh,
He'd
that's a
also
good
be
choice.
well.
Yeah, have you seen his design in the Flash TV series?
I did see his design.
It's so good.
It looks very raw, but then I can't ever get Suicide Squad to King Shark out of my head.
Oh wait, has that King Shark? Is that the one who like eats people in like the new Suicide Squad?
Yes, he does. Yeah, it's Sylvester Stallone.
he's otherwise referred to as Narwhal because that's the species that he is.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
He's the giant shark.
Yeah, he's
Who
the one in
like
the
rips someone in half and
he's the one in the trailer that's voiced by Sylvester Stallone also, but also
it is. That's right.
and he's like
hand.
It's very well done.
Yeah.
I love it to pieces. But no, King Shark would be another amazing addition to Injustice 3.
Yeah, and like it would also like because this is like thinking about, he's gonna be like a playable character in the new Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game as well.
Which still I need to do more research on that because apparently I got like very bad news on gameplay wise and I wasn't really sold on it.
By any chance, you guys might know with the previous Injustice games, did either of them, because I know this is a movie coming out soon, did any of them have Black Adam?
Both of them
did.
Black Adam is actually very integral to in the Injustice games.
He was also like Darkseid. He was very like top tier in competitive competitive scene as well.
I think we will end that there. So thank you very much, Patrick, for jumping in on this episode.
This has been so fun.
Yeah, it was fun having you on, man. And it was like, this was like a really good episode, I feel like.
I think you're going to pull in all the viewers, man.
Oh, hell yeah. All the viewers who can only listen.
Listeners. There we go. That's the right way.
There we go.
I'm so used to watching YouTube and influencers go, now listen up, viewers.
Actually, Adrian did that on the end of the last one. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, sort of thing. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode, and hopefully we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Peace.
So long. Goodbye.